Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're gonna be going over my USFL MVP contenders and who I think should win the MVP after this far in the season. So there's only 2 weeks left in the regular season plus the playoffs. We're officially through 8 weeks. So there's no really clear MVP frontrunner or favorite to me. And I don't even know if there's an official MVP award. But I mean, even if there isn't an official award, that the USFL fans, including myself, would still have a self-proclaimed MVP. So there's some contenders, but I don't necessarily see a contender that like jumps off the page or runs away and says, and you're like, wow, that guy's the MVP. So, contenders I see are running back Darius Victor, wide receiver Turpin, quarterback Case Cookus, and quarterback Kyle Sloter. So there isn't really a contender on the Gamblers, Maulers, or Panthers because they're so bad. The Maulers, okay, maybe Jordan Tayamu, but not really because they're kind of a mediocre team. And then the Stallions, yeah, they're undefeated, but who's their true star? They don't really have one. It's a completely team effort. So, starting off with Darius Victor, who's my first contender, and these are in no order. I will rank them later in the video, so stay tuned for that. So he leads the league in rushing yards with 524. He's also a touchdown machine, and has 9 rushing touchdowns, which is 3 more than anyone else. He's one of 2 running backs the Generals have. The other running back is Trey Williams. Victor has that. It's a pretty even split, but Victor gets a little bit more of the carries and work. He's emerged as the better of the 2 backs. He can run people over, and he is also a good receiving back. He's also the league leader with 630 scrimmage yards. So, I know running backs don't usually win the MVP, but this is the USFL, not the NFL. It's a little bit more of a run-first league than the NFL. I'm not saying it's a run-first league, but you see teams lean on the run a little bit more than you do with teams in the NFL. Next candidate is another General, and that is Turpin. He's a do-it-all guy for the Generals, a very shifty wide receiver who leads the league with 444 receiving yards. Also tied for the league lead in receiving touchdowns with 4. And also leads the league in yards after catch by a mile with 280. So Turpin, he returns punts. He's also a rushing threat, 130 rushing yards and a touchdown. So I think he's probably the unlikeliest of the 4. But I still think he's an option because of how good he's been for the Generals this season. Next candidate is Case Cookus of the Stars, coming off a monster game against the Panthers, 4 touchdown passes, and over 100 yards on the ground, and a rushing touchdown. He's got just over 1,000 passing yards and only started 5 games. And again, only starting 5 games, he's just 1 passing touchdown shy of the league lead with 10. So the Stars' offense is starting to find their ground game with Matt Colburn, but Case Cookus is the star of that Stars' offense, pun intended. And if he was the day 1 starter for the Stars, then he would be the clear MVP candidate or MVP favorite. He would have a lot more passing yards than Kyle Sloter, who's the leader. He's really the focal point of that offense. He's the quarterback. They're a pass-first offense. Yes, their run game is getting better, but they're an offensive first team. They're going to outscore you. They're not going to shut you down defensively because their defense is not good. And they're a pass-first team. And quarterback Case Cookus has been really good when he's played. Was playing behind Brian Scott before Scott got hurt. But now Cookus has been really good, and I have him as an MVP contender. And my final candidate is Breakers quarterback Kyle Sloter. So Sloter leads the league in passing yards, but then does not have a very good touchdown to interception ratio, with that ratio being 9-10. So he's been consistent yet inconsistent. He's good yardage-wise. He's going to get the ball where it needs to be, but he's also going to have a lot of turnovers. 13 turnovers this season. So I think he should be the MVP, even though his turnover problems. If he can cut down on those in the next 2 weeks, definitely MVP. I mean, he's on one of the best teams, the Breakers. And their passing attack is the best in the league, and he's the quarterback of their offense and leader of their passing attack. So he's one of the best and better quarterbacks in the league. So my final MVP contenders ranking from 1 to 4 of the guys I mentioned. Slaughter at number 1. I think he should win MVP and is the MVP this far in the season, or through 8 weeks. Number 2 is Cookus. Even though he's only started 5 games, he's just been so unbelievably good that he has to be a number 2. 3, I'm going to give Darius Victor, and 4, Turpin. So let me know in the comments if I missed any MVP contenders, if there's a player aside from Slaughter who should win the MVP, if you have a different MVP, obviously aside from Slaughter. Let me know in the comments below. I do my best to post as often as possible. So thank you for watching, like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video.